This is AVIOT, Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY Productions, a media education company.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Jay Stokes, joined by our other gracious co-hosts, Koya and Jay Random of the AVIOT podcast. How's everybody doing tonight?
Chilling. What's good?
Hey guys.
Wow.
Hey guys.
Wrong.
I'm doing all right in quarantine.
In quarantine.
Y'all tried it. Y'all don't know that hey guys is thing. Tried it.
Yeah, come on, Random. Why you gotta play Koya like that?
Because I was waiting for the reply.
He got what he wanted. The shade of it all.
Speaking of quarantine, finally, Florida has a mandatory stay-at-home order after all this time. They should have been had that. Right before spring break.
It's a wild place, though.
It is a wild
place.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's normal there, so I'm not surprised.
Nobody is.
Governor Rick Scott, he can't control that shit.
But Random, you said last time how all the kids that went there for spring break end up getting the coronavirus. Most of them,
check this out. Check this out. So the bugged out part too is that when spring break was going on, the governor and the mayors are all up in arms. They said, okay, guess what? We're going to close the beaches on Monday. I said, well, damn, today Friday.
What they want to be at the beach too. Florida is a wild place.
It was Friday.
You know they don't pay people on Thursdays.
That's what I'm saying. But it was Friday. It was Friday, guys. And they talking about we're going to close the beach starting Monday. I said, what the Monday? What happened to Saturday?
For the weekend, they live for the nightlife. No, they're not doing that.
But yes, I read an article that said a lot of the kids that actually were at the spring break have now tested positive for coronavirus. And a lot of them didn't even come back to the colleges that, that they were tested at. So a lot of them didn't even get tested. It just went from spring break to home. So another reason why this is spreading, because people are living their lives like it's golden, being selfish and not realizing that no one knows who has it. Okay, what I'm starting to realize that it's a lot of asymptomatic people, it must be, because they said, it takes 2 to 14 days before you start seeing results. So that's a long time to be walking by someone not showing any symptoms.
I actually wanted to put a pin in what you were saying about being selfish, because that leads me to another topic that we really need to discuss. Bernie Sanders still trying to campaign for being president.
No.
You saw how Whoopi read him today on The View?
He still?
Yeah.
He gotta give it up.
Whoopi was like, straight up, this is starting to remind me of the Hillary campaign when Hillary was running for president and you were waiting so long to endorse her and your fans or your supporters didn't help out. And that's how that aided in Hillary losing. It's like history is repeating itself.
Seriously, he is a pain in the ass. He's a sore loser. He's entitled. And really, to be honest with you, he should just bow out. Tell his supporters to vote for Joe Biden. Listen, I don't even want Joe Biden to win, but at the end of the day, I'm going to vote for him over Orange Man in charge. So that's why I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm going to vote for Biden because Biden is winning now. And I just feel like someone needs to really sit Bernie Sanders down. The Democratic Party needs to sit him down, because if you're losing, just lose gracefully and tell all your supporters to back the other person. Or like you said again, we're going to have another Hillary Clinton incident.
Pretty much. What do you think, Coy?
That's just him. He's a feisty old man. I'm not surprised. Yeah, he's just feisty. He's a naturally feisty man to be. Like, that's what I take him to be. And I only think that Joe Biden is in the lead because of Barack.
Yes.
Like, other than that, Uncle Joe ain't got no real credentials.
He really don't.
Point.
You're right.
Yes,
you're right.
You're right.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. It's all because of Barack. But
yeah, we love Barack, so
yeah,
that's his homeboy. All right, you next then, but not a good concept, really, if you ask me.
No,
I don't know.
No.
And Whoopi was pretty much saying on The View, because Bernie's saying that he's trying to help the people that are dealing with coronavirus, and Whoopi's like, but you're still campaigning, so how are you splitting up your time equally? Like, you got to put more investment in one over the other. He's like, oh, well, I'm at home right now. I'm not campaigning and I'm helping people out. But Whoopi's like, okay, so that means you're still running. So if you're still running, how can you really be putting in effort to helping people out?
We have got to understand where we are at. And right now is April 1st. it is likely possible there are millions of people who cannot pay their rent, cannot pay their mortgage.
Yes. But wouldn't it be smarter for you to continue on that path to make sure that gets done?
Well, we are doing it. Believe me, I am doing it. I'm sitting in my house right now. I'm not holding a rally in Wisconsin. What I am very worried about
so your plan is to stay in, yes?
But,
your plan is to
said that we are assessing. Well, for the fourth time.
You're assessing.
We are assessing.
Okay. All right.
We are.
Did you get that question she was asking?
No, I do. But what is Biden doing right now? Because I don't even see him. What is he doing?
I think he's still campaigning. He hasn't really been too vocal about COVID-19 or the coronavirus or the Rona. He's been talking about it, but I don't think he's been too overly vocal. Cause I see some of his tweets, he tweets about it, but I think it's part of his campaign. He's just saying, oh, let me show face and show how I can be a strong leader in these times. And then that will help people think I'm more presidential.
Yeah, because I don't see either of them. I mean,
they're too old though. What they supposed to be doing right now? They gotta be in the house.
You're right. They really gotta be quarantined. They're the prime suspects of the people that's getting it.
Not the prime suspects. Yeah.
They're the main. Yeah, man. They're the main people the virus looking for.
Targets for that room.
Target.
Man.
Yeah.
They gotta chill out. So yeah, I think they're supposed to be doing exactly what they're doing right now, just hanging out in the house.
Right.
Once it's all over, I guess they just come back out, put the gloves back on.
I don't even think Trump want to be around. He just has to show face.
Oh, please. He tried to dip on that lady when she said her throat was sore, but then he tried to act like it was a joke. He wasn't joking. He wanted the hell away from
out. And did y'all see now that Vice President Pence is blaming China and the CDC? And I'm like, really? This is what we doing? We're blaming the CDC? When it is on record that your commander-in-chief for the longest was saying that this was a hoax. And no, this is nothing.
No one could talk because the Chinese government is at fault for what they did, and the U.S. government is at fault for withholding information because they had this info back in November, but they chose not to act on it.
That's correct.
Exactly. And a lot of people are pissed off, definitely in New Orleans now. But they're like, wait a minute. If we had known that this was really serious, don't forget, because New Orleans had Mardi Gras in February, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So in February, nobody wasn't talking about this. Remember, there's a timeline. It's not until when I got back from Barbados, which was the 15th, the 16th was when shit hit the fan. It was like I got back a day before shit hit the fan. Because when I was away, he wasn't even saying too much. I knew it was real when
I went to Charlotte. I think a lot of people had on masks and gloves at the airport, and I wasn't really I was like, what the hell's wrong with everybody? Are they for real? Is this thing for real? That's when it made me a little more conscious because we just started seeing a lot of people. This was the first week of February.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of people in the airport had gloves and masks. I'm like, should I have came prepared? What's going on here? I didn't think it was that bad, but I guess because we were all misinformed, like you said. Then one day it just hit the fan. Everybody got to stay in the house.
Yeah.
Real talk, though, after this is over, the best thing to do is hit up the stock market and invest in Charmin, invest in Clorox, invest in all this stuff. Because people are going to be buying this stuff up a lot from now on.
Yo, who saw this shit with Trump yesterday? Just real quick.
What happened with Trump?
About how the came on the air and said about 100,000 to 240,000 people going to die. I said, what the fuck?
Yeah, I heard that.
How did you fix your lips to say that?
Did you see that video that was circulating? There was a video they were showing in New York, the hospital, one of the hospitals, and they had people, the corpses, they had just plastic bags over them, and they were all in the hallway.
Damn. On the hallway, they got some in the truck. They got some.
I was like, really? We'd be fighting if they had one of my relatives like that.
How do you get your relative back? I mean, I don't want to find out, but damn.
You can't have no funeral right now.
Yeah, because they die with that shit. Then they die with corona. So, I don't think, listen, Corey, as janky as that funeral place up in Stanford, they ain't going to take no coronavirus, people.
Oh, why are they wrong?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Corey, many times
Downer?
Yeah, Downer. Yo, Downer had somebody work with him I never saw somebody. Now, when your shoes get worn out, the sole get worn out. Yo, the motherfucker, the top of his shoe was worn out. I said, how did your top worn out? Yo, I saw my man. Oh.
Banging him on the side of casket.
The top of the shoe.
Yo, to this day, Corey, granddad died years ago. Yo, only thing I remember was that man's tongue sticking out of the shoe. It's like, what? Yo, I almost laughed. I remember because he was carrying Granddad along with us. And I was like, yo, is that his toe? He had no socks on. To this day, I don't know how you wear out the top of your shoe. Yes, not the top. It's like so much. You had a bad swollen toes. He just cut the top of. Yo, it was bad, man. It was like the shoe. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, the other one was pulling embalming fluid out of there, so they just shot up over there. That is the ghetto actually on home retrospect.
That's what I'm saying. They probably will. You know what? They probably will bury somebody with corona.
Going back to, I think Koya made a point before about being angry and disgruntled old men. It seems like Snoop Dogg is starting to become like that too. Did y'all see what Snoop Dogg said about Ari Lennox, who's one of J. Cole's artists today?
No, what'd he say?
Yeah.
She's a mess on IG too.
Yeah, she is She's interesting. So basically, I think it was just an April Fool's prank or whatever, but she had like a lace front wig and she's like, how do I put this thing on? How do I get this lace front on? Da, 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 da. And then Snoop Dogg had commented, he said, grow your own hair. What happened to those days? The crazy part is Ari Lennox usually has her hair natural. So even if she decided to wear the lace front, she always wears her hair natural anyway. So she's entitled to switch up.
Yeah, like Snoop, go ahead. You know black women wear weave. Go ahead with the dumb stuff.
Snoop acting stupid. That's what it is.
And then look at his daughter and his wife.
With the entire
That's his daughter.
Horse.
And then look at his wife.
Entire horse on her head.
Damn, Uncle Snoop, you hypocrite.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to get the picture right.
Don't worry.
I don't know if y'all can see it.
Don't worry. All I see is a Tina Turner wig.
Yeah. So it's like, while you talking about her, your house is not in order.
Exactly.
Right. And he knows he's been in the industry forever. Like men wear wigs in that industry. You know, like it's all please. Steve Harvey fooled us for how many years? And John Travolta. Both bald headed as hell.
Hey, real quick. Hey, baby girl, whatever you doing, we hear it on the mic.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just FYI.
I had like something stuck to the keyboard. Okay.
Yeah, because all we hear is bang, bang, bang.
That was me trying to get it off. It was bothering me. All right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, she sound clearer now. Yeah, baby girl, whatever you doing, stop it and continue doing what you.
I had moved the mic. The mic got like so far because it rotates, so it just be having a mind of its own. But it's back.
So I just wanted to say, there's been a lot of back and forth with the Snoop Dogg thing. I saw in some of the comments, women were like, "Men, stop telling us how to wear our hair." So here's my thing about that. I'm talking about black people here. I don't believe that black men need to police black women's hair. Black women should do whatever they want to with their hair. However, when you're in a demographic that is attracted to another demographic, I think that them having a say in what they like, that has some weight to it. Does that make sense?
What are you saying? Like if I like white guys and he said I like your hair straight?
Nah, I know what you're still saying.
So for example, I think this is a better comparison. So if black women are like, hey, I like guys that are chiseled, right? That's their preference. So if they're saying, oh, this dude got a bird chest, he need to get his weight up, I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. But then I think because there's a whole history behind black hair and that's such a loaded conversation, I think when black men are like, hey, I like your hair natural, and then black women are like, y'all, you shouldn't tell me what to do with my hair. If you're trying to attract that demographic, I think that them saying that has some weight to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. Because if like you know how Nancy she wears her natural hair all the time. She never wears a weave. But what if one day you was like, oh, I would like to see your hair in a weave or whatever. She could take it into consideration. She don't have to necessarily go for it. But if she want to make you happy, then she should do it.
She would curse me out. It's so funny. What I told her like a few months ago? I was like, hey, babe, you know what? I miss when your hair used to be curly and like afro. She said, yeah, right. Well, listen, I got sister locks. That's never going to happen. So I got put in my place quick. I was like, well, okay, it's still natural. She's like, yeah, but no, it's not going to happen. I got sister locks. I said, okay. I was just telling you that I miss how it used to look. That's all.
I think that
grand opening, grand closing.
But I think that if your partner likes your natural look, what naturally comes out of your hair, your head, what naturally your body looks like, if they want something that's natural, I don't know if that should necessarily be much of an argument. Like some guys will be like, I don't like women with makeup, right? And women are like, don't tell me what to do. But I'm like, shouldn't you feel appreciative that they like your bare face?
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, it's like,
I don't know. I do feel like men have a lot of say. Like, you know, women got to walk around in heels, feet like crying for help. Y'all get to wear sneakers out. You know, like it's all like, oh, well, you look sexier if you wear heels. Oh, you'll look more like a woman if you wear your hair long or wear, you know, like it's so much. Because some men are like, oh, why don't you wear makeup? And the others are like, too much makeup. It's like, we can't please everybody.
Right.
So people just need to kind of do what works for them. And if the girl wears too much makeup, maybe that's just not the girl for you, versus making her feel like she needs to like change up what she's doing to accommodate you when y'all probably gonna break up anyway. So just find somebody else that wear makeup. Or
That's
don't.
true.
Here's a question though. What if you met someone and they're one way and then they switch up and do something that you don't like? Like say you met someone and they, let's flip it to the guy scenario. Let's say you met them, they were clean cut and they always had their like stuff pressed, like their jeans pressed. But then y'all get into a relationship like 2 years later, he decides, I want to sag and I want to have like a scruffy look, but you not feeling that. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same scenario.
Right. Even 2 years later?
No, yeah, that's dramatic. But yeah, I'm gonna say something though. Like, what's up? Everything okay? I know you're looking a little different. Everything all right? You know, you just have to like kind of squeeze it in the conversation, but you don't want to put the pressure on them as though you don't, you know, because if you really like them, then, you know, the scruffiness really shouldn't play a part. Like this guy I was talking to, he said he was going to grow his hair out to get a mohawk. And I was like, in 2020?
No.
What's that about? He got like so upset. I was being serious though. That's corny.
I will say though, Koya, I think you have a right to have a preference though. So even if it's like, yeah, I mean, I can deal with this a little bit, you can still be like, yo, but you still need to go back to what attracted me to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
People change though. So
people do change, but if you're going to keep your relationship alive and you're going to keep your partner liking you, you should still, to some certain degree, still want to be attractive to your partner.
Okay, well, what if your partner changes and says, you know what? I like beards now, or I don't like beards now. And you're the one with the opposite. What are you going to do?
But to see that, it's hard because people don't really change drastically like that. No, people don't really change drastically like that. Like they'll be like, oh, I like tall men. Then in the middle of a relationship, oh, I like short men. What? Like what? Like people ain't gonna make that change.
Yeah, well, no. I guess people don't make dramatic changes like that. But I think appearance, people do change. I think appearance. Because think about it.
You want to switch up your style.
Exactly. Look, I mean, I can't think of anything that's dramatic, but I see people change because I look at it like I never forget. So, I've been married for 17 years now. Beginning of our marriage, my wife never cared about Valentine's Day. She still doesn't as much, but I can't let it. Before I can let it go, it's the 15th and be like, hey, what's up? Now it's like the 14th. What are we doing? Like what? Wait, when we start changing that up, so. Is that the same, you mean?
Social media.
I'm so used to.
That make everybody think that.
Say it again?
It's social media. Social media. The influence of that. I feel like girls who don't have a man, they be mad bitter on the 14th. Like, just relax, girl. That shit is 24 hours.
But then also over it.
But random, she could have grown to appreciate the holiday or celebration more too.
I think she grown to appreciate it because
of what her counterparts are getting around her.
Dang, Koya.
Oh no, that's how women are. I'm just keeping it real. Like, oh, what did he get you? Oh, that's it. You know how women. Well, you might not know, but let me tell you, that's how it goes down. It's the comparison of the gifts. Christmas time, who got the best gift? Like that's.
Well, one thing I do love, we don't really exchange gifts, but still, like we go out to eat, so we treat it like a regular day. But prior to that, I was always the one that's always like, "Hey, it's Valentine's Day." She's like, "Hey, listen, my birthday. I think it's probably 2 weeks after." So it was kind of like, I'd rather do this on my birthday. Now, lately, like probably like 3 years, probably 4 years, it's like, so you want to do something today? And I'd be like, huh? No, wait, what happened to when we didn't do anything? I like that now. I'm used to that. For the first 10 years, I was that one saying, let's do something. Now I'm like, I'm kind of used to not doing anything. But it's nothing dramatic, though.
I think at the end of the day, though, there are like your core beliefs, your core things that you stand on. This is what I like, and this will not waver. And then there's other things that can like kind of shift back and forth. You know what I mean? Right, Corey?
Yeah, that's definitely one core belief. Like people care less. They just want to eat. Because
I think like when it comes to hair, like a dude with a beard is like, oh, I really like beards. But if the dude tries to trim it, then it's like, I mean, you'll grow it back eventually if you like me. But if he decided to keep that joint down forever, you'd be like, wait a minute, hold up.
I think the beard makes like a big difference. That's like weave for women. Like some men look hot with a beard. The minute they cut it, mad weird. They look crazy. So,
or some of them like non-existent. Like imagine James Harden.
Struggle beard.
Yo, or imagine James Harden without his beard. As weird as that beard look, if he cut that beard off, you like, yo, wait a minute. Wait, is that James Harden?
Oh my Lord.
So yeah, you're right.
I think though with the weave thing, the weave and the false hair that black women put in their head, I think because there's such a loaded history and there is, even if people don't want to accept it, there is an element with a lot of people, not everybody, with a lot of people of self-hate in there. They'll say, oh, I need to wear this all the time because my natural hair doesn't look good. Or they'll put up all these excuses in the world and spend thousands of dollars all the time to get this done. And they're saying, oh, I can wear my hair natural whenever I want. But if you look throughout the year, it's like 90-10. They wear weave 90% of the time and they wear the natural hair out 10% of the time.
Weave is just more flexible most of the time than our natural texture. You know, weave, you could just put a little flat iron to it, or maybe you don't even have to do that. Sometimes you just got to comb it if you got a real good one, and you keep it moving. Our hair is not like that. It got to be manipulated, greased, moisturized, set in a scarf for 9 hours. Like, it's a process. So a lot of times, too, it's about the convenience factor. Like, a lot of girls I know that wear wigs, they got really long, thick hair underneath, but hair that they don't know how to manage, hair that they're not really comfortable styling. So it's different reasons why people wear weave.
Mm-hmm. The question I always ask, because I want to do No, the question I always ask, I do want to do a documentary on this one day. If the weave, right? Because I've read some accounts of like slave narratives and stuff. If the weave or the wig isn't introduced to black women, do these talking points still come up that my hair is hard to manipulate and all this and that? Or do they just adapt to how their hair is?
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, what you don't know, you can't even like apply to your life. So of course they get just like, oh, this is my hair. I just deal with it. It just looks however it looks. But knowing that you have options, you get different colors and textures. That's when the game begins. You know, that's when it gets fun. Yeah, some people just like to do it to like switch up their look. So people don't want to look the same every day.
Yeah.
So it just varies.
Yeah, my only issue is when we deal with kids and they start thinking like my hair is ugly and stuff. Like that's the reason why like I always push back against so much promotion of weave, wig, because then I'm looking at the kids, they think their natural hair is ugly, then they grow up to adopt weave, wig, and then you get these dramatic scenarios. Go ahead. What's up?
I feel like now the kids embrace their natural hair a lot more than when I was growing up. Like when I was growing up, you need a perm, flat out. Like perm your hair. Put that creamy crack in there, let it get real straight. If it burn a little bit, just put some oil sheen, let it sizzle on your scalp. This shit was dangerous. Between that and a hot comb, we played some dangerous games. But like now,
you're right about that.
You know, my daughter's 13. Like natural hair is a thing now. You know, like girls look forward to doing their twist outs and stuff way more now than they did ever before. I don't think people have been embracing natural hair as much as they have in the past couple of years. But I think now that, you know, the kids are embracing it a lot more.
And that is a good thing. Have you heard of this whole debate with the different curl patterns, how some natural hair is prioritized over others? So with people like 4A and 4B hair, those hair textures will be praised more in natural hair over like the 4C, which is like the more coarse.
I didn't even heard of the grades.
My daughter is a stone cold 4C. And she can't really take it. It takes a lot of manipulation to just get it to, you know, look, because she wanted to look like a 4A pattern. So then I got to like do all this extra work, you know, never satisfied. You know how the game goes.
I think that people should just love the hair that grows out of their head. Like it shouldn't be I need to manipulate it to look a certain way. Just love what you're born with and work it. Make that stylish.
And now for a quick commercial break.
Hey guys, as you can hear, we are unapologetic in our opinions. We may be politically incorrect or possibly wrong, but don't knock us for being ourselves and saying what many are too afraid to admit out loud. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or questions about our show, email us at chemistryproductions@gmail.com. That's K3MISTRY productions@gmail.com. We'll be sure to address whatever you have to say.
Yo, real quick. I know we ain't going to end the show, right, without talking about my girl, so y'all can continue, though. Just want to say.
Right? Who your girl?
You know my girl.
Oh, my.
Who, Lizzo?
Cupcake.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You talking about that joint she did with Blueface?
Yeah. But we can continue. I just want to say, we can't end our show without talking about my girl. So back to the hair weaves. Yeah, let's go. I just had to throw that in.
It's a loaded conversation, and it's something that can't be talked about just within this podcast. And I'm sorry for like interjecting a lot. It's just from reading so many narratives about how Black women feel about their hair, also researching the history of slavery in America and seeing how enslaved blacks were treated because of their hair, I have like very strong opinions about how people talk about it and how they feel about it. Because in some cases where people think they are liberated, it's actually a subconscious thing in their head that, oh no, really, I need this or else I'm not going to be accepted. And that applies to men and women.
Wait, you mean men with weaves? What are you talking about?
No, not the bra with the lace
front. Hair, right?
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, the men's preference in hair, because you'll see a lot of black guys prefer the long-haired black women and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's even, they're conditioned to think like that.
So am I conditioned because I like girls with big booties? I'm not conditioned, right?
I think that's a little different because that's more of like a primal trait because I think...
A primal trait? I'm an animal
seriously.
Now, boy.
No, seriously. Men that like men that like more curvaceous women, I think is something to do with like wanting to procreate, and there's a whole like biological factor behind that. That's why back in the day, bigger women were praised. In Africa, you see different countries in Africa, bigger women are praised because they're more fruitful. They're able to, there's a lot more that comes with that, a lot more positives than negatives.
Gotcha. So, all right, cool.
Some things have a history behind it. It's not necessarily that we're conditioned. I would say like a certain figure you might be conditioned to. So if you have like the hourglass shape, that might be, you've been conditioned to that. But if you just like a more voluptuous woman and it doesn't really matter how her shape is necessarily manipulated, that might actually just be in you, like a primal trait, as I said. It's just like with women that like bigger muscular dudes. That's a primal trait. They want someone that's going to be a protector, someone who's going to be a force, someone who's not going to take any mess, who's going to be able to help them out when they need something. Man. Exactly.
Nope, can't do it.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of women like taller men. That's the thing.
I got too much mouth. I don't want to be no little man outside and somebody thinking they about to run down on me because my little ass boyfriend right here, he can't do nothing.
See?
What the hell?
Wow.
I ain't playing that.
Now, but let's end on Lizzo since we talk about bigger women. I was going to bring up the Tekashi situation. I was going to bring him up, but he's not really worth the time of day because, I mean, what? He's going to get out. He's going to get out because he had asthma. Okay, nice.
Lucky him. Wait a minute. In that case, Bill Cosby should get out because he old.
Good luck.
Not happening.
All right, so what's up with your girl Lizzo?
No, I was just cracking up how Lizzo just stayed dropping. I mean, stayed posing with no drawers. Well, she do got drawers on, but I'm glad they put that cupcake between that sense, to censor out her booty.
Foya sent me the uncensored joint. I was like, dang.
I never seen it. I don't think I want to see it. I'm good.
Yeah, I sent you the uncensored one too.
I never seen it. Nah,
ain't no cupcake there, honey. I just went back.
Nope.
No, that's just all dairy, honey.
I ain't seen nothing.
As soon as Blueface was talking about her in the interview, I said she gonna drop something.
Lizzo has the coronavirus. Are you still in?
I didn't hit a couple big Monday.
That's right.
You feel me?
I respect the crippin'.
I'm all about
Hemis, I'm running up in that. Baby,
Blueface.
Lizzo.
You call that a wide low.
Call me, baby.
That's it.
That's a wide low right there. You feel me? I might need an extra.
As soon as he was talking about her.
You know what? She just likes her name to be mentioned, so that's what she like. It's working, girl. Keep it up.
I mean, I think she might be done after that one album, though. I don't know if she's going to have another comeback.
And that one album is old.
Yeah, it's old, and it's all over the place.
They made it in 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't get number one until 2019. So yeah, she probably just gonna ride up the little wagon tail of that. But that's all right, as long as she can feed her family and stuff, make it work.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the most important part. So nope. That's all I was gonna say. I got nothing to say about Lizzo. Big up to Lizzo.
Okay. Well, with that being said,
okay.
So before we go off the rails, let's end this one.
To be honest, I'm hungry, so I got nothing to say about Lizzo. So I'm ready to eat.
Why.
That's the only reason why.
That's why he cut you some slack, girl, because he got to go take down some food.
What?
Terrible.
Fish tacos.
All right, y'all. It's been real. Till next time.
Yes. Yo, next time, everyone have a good night. Be safe, everybody. Please quarantine.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.